some weird noises every once in a while, and one of my dogs, getting this other sock on, one of my dogs is super cute, but she makes a lot of weird noises, so sometimes it might sound like a fart, but it's not a fart. Or if she coughs, I'll try to pause the audio, so that it doesn't, it's very loud and not at all relaxing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put on some of these finger gloves. So, these finger gloves are made out of paper. It's origami, and I will make a video at a later date on how to make these. Here's the last one. See noises like that, that's what I'm talking about. My dog, she just makes weird noises. Okay, so these are all the paper fingers that I'm going to be wearing. I'm not going to wear them on this hand because I've tried to make them before. Well, I've tried to make a video before with both hands having all the finger claws, and it did not work. Oh, also there's a bunch of cars going by. I have found that there is just no perfect time to record. There's always cars going by because I live near a main street. My dogs are always with me, so no matter what time of day, it's just, there's constantly weird noises going on, so I think the cars are kind of relaxing. It kind of just is environmental. It gives that environmental sound. So, anyways, without further ado, let's get started. So, I'm not going to be showing you everything that I have from Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that would take a couple of videos, but I'll go ahead and show you just some basics. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Playmat. I'm not gonna open it because I have like 6 of these. Okay, I say I, but it's actually me and my brother. So my brother and I both play Yu-Gi-Oh! And we have a couple of friends that play as well. So, this, for example, is mine. And this one is my brother's. So they're all colored. You can see they're all different colors. So, not everything is mine, but it's split between us, and we keep it in one bag. So, anyways, I think it's a little bit too bright, so I'm gonna fix that really quick. Okay, I think that should be better. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. So the other one, I put it too far. The other one is my brother's, but I put it too far for me, so I'm not gonna hold that one anymore. Like I said, I'm not gonna be opening these. I will do that in another video. I'll probably do one just of playmats, and I'll probably also do one just of playing cards, trading cards. But anyways, here is a gold sarcophagus. If you guys bought this set, you probably threw your box away. And I hate you for that because I love this so much. I think it's beautiful. And we have like 4 of these because we put all of our cards in this. So. It's all organized. This is my brother's, and I didn't ask him for permission to show you this, but anyways. So inside of here you have each card. He keeps them all in sets by like, this is monsters, this is probably spells and set called the Dual Devastator. I didn't even actually buy this. My friend bought it, and when he got it, I was like, oh my god, I really want it because I have this card. And I like the art on these two cards, but I don't personally use them, especially not her, Ghost Ogre. But anyways, I just thought it was a really cool box, and now I put a lot of my ASMR equipment in here. So, like my claws, for example, it's separated by two. There's a divider in there, and I use it to put different stuff in here. So, my friend bought this. I don't actually know what came in here. Yes, I do, but I'm not gonna explain it all. Again, that's for another video. So this is the box. So now let's get down to the meat of everything that I wanted to do today. So this is my deck box for it's for one of my decks. We have a couple of decks, like each of us. So this is one deck that I love playing, and I just buffed it lately, recently. So this deck box holds my deck called the King of the Skull Servants. If you run Skull Servants, it's a really fun deck. It's a beat stick, so it's not a whole lot of I don't know. I mean, there's strategy. I was gonna say it's not a whole lot of strategy, but you have to plan everything out accordingly to what monster you want to play, because I'll make that my screen grab. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab them as they are here on the table that I put. So this is 1-for-1. Lets you discard one card from your hand to the graveyard in order to special summon one level 1 monster from the deck. Oh, from your hand or deck. I don't think it's really necessary to be special summoning one from your hand unless you have all 3 copies of whatever you need in your hand. So anyways, this card is great because if you have a Skull Servant in your hand, you can discard the Skull Servant and bring out a White Prince from your deck. Then, if you have a White Prince in your hand, you discard that. You put it into the graveyard. As soon as it touches the graveyard, it can remove from the deck to the graveyard another Skull Servant, which is a vanilla Skull Servant. I'll show you later. It's a vanilla card, and one Lady in White, and all 3 of those are considered Skull Servants while they are in the graveyard. Then this also lets you special summon one monster from your deck, and it has to be a level 1. In doing that, you can bring out a Skull Servant and let it crash into another monster so that you have another Skull Servant in the graveyard, or you can special summon. I have a couple of cards that you can do. So that's 1-for-1. This is Gozuki. He's pretty great. He's nowhere near as good as Mizuki because he's a little bit different, but Gozuki, this guy allows you during your main phase to send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. I believe it's just one zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard, which you want to send White Prince because then he sends one Skull Servant and one Lady in White. So Gozuki is pretty cool. Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. This is what makes this deck a little bit different from most Skull Servant decks. Soul Absorbing Bone Tower allows you to discard the top 2 cards from your opponent's deck to the graveyard. Every time a monster monster is special summoned, which I'll go into more detail later because it's only zombie monsters. But sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud. But anyways, so that is what makes this deck a little bit different. Pyramid of Wonders, Magic Cylinder, because I'm trash. Lady in White, this is a Skull Servant. Necessity, White Prince as well. Foolish Burial is just for fun. I'm skipping this card, I'm skipping that card. White Mirror is another generic Skull Servant card that you should definitely have in your Skull Servant deck. I'm running a Twin Twisters because why wouldn't you? I am also running a Zombie World because I think that this card is really annoying in the way that it basically shuts down everybody else's deck. My brother uses dinos, and basically they're not dinos. They're not dinos anymore because now they're zombies in my Zombie World. Even if they have their field spell out, it doesn't change what monsters are what, like mine does. The most important. Anyways, here's Skull Servant. Sorry about that. Here's Skull Servant. Here's Burial from a Different Dimension. This isn't really that necessary, honestly. Oh my god, and I'm running two. But anyways, it's just a good card to have just in case you banish all three of your Skull Servants from the graveyard in order to special summon from your deck a King of the Skull Servants. King of the Skull Servants is good, but he can be destroyed by card effects. If he's destroyed by battle, he can just banish a zombie, a Skull Servant from your graveyard, which lowers his attack. In which case, you might just want to let him die. Actually, I don't think it's I don't think it's passive. I think you have to do it. So, anyways, if your king is dead and you still have some monsters in your graveyard to banish, like 3 Skull Servants, then you'll banish them and get out another king. In which case, you can use Burial from a Different Dimension in order to put 3 of them back in your deck. Or if you want to be sneaky about it, you can banish 3 and then immediately put them back into your graveyard because your opponent will get psyched out. They'll be like, oh cool, he just banished 3, which means he lost 3,000 attack. And then boom. Anyways, here's White Princess. She's also a really good card. She's also a hand trap. I was not using her correctly for like a good couple of weeks until my brother was like, you're missing a whole point. So White Prince is a White Princess, I'm sorry, she's able to blow herself up on the field or from the hand to lower your enemy's attack by 300 for every star that they have. The only downside is it also hurts you, and it also has to go to the graveyard, but going to the graveyard is great because she's considered a Skull Servant in the graveyard. I'm only showing you the generic cards for this deck because I still want to show you I really hope you guys didn't hear that. That was a really loud notification. I wanted to show you guys a couple of, at least one more deck. Here's Mizuki. He's totally great, and he was banned for a very long time, but he's back. And Mizuki can banish himself from the graveyard in order to special summon 1 zombie monster from your graveyard. So this is great because if your king is in the graveyard and he can't bring himself back, or you can bring him back but you don't want to banish 3 zombie monsters, 3 Skull Servants, this is the best way to go. Plus he has 1700 attack, so at least he's not going to die right away. In addition to that, he's a zombie monster and he's a 4-star. So zombie, great for links. 4-star, great for XYZ, sorry. I'm also running a Lost Wind because everybody special summons these days. Let's see what else. Frank. used to play when I was really little. And when I was really little, I would play with my brother, but this was one of the first decks I ever made. So when I came back to Yu-Gi-Oh, because I stopped playing for like 10 years, I came back, and this was the first deck I made when I came back. It was okay because it was a glass cannon. It was just a beat stick. I didn't have any other cards other than Skull Servants and cards like Right Genki Break and Magic Cylinder, which is garbage. So this card is really cool because it's kind of like what brought me back. So I really enjoy this deck a lot. Another Zombie World. Okay, now for the extra deck, I am running an Avenged Savior. If you guys don't have this card, I definitely recommend it because, yes, he's an Avenged, but he doesn't really need to use his Avenged ability. He takes 2 zombie monsters. That's easy. That's stupid easy to get out. So it doesn't matter where he's pointing because it doesn't affect that unless you're using a bunch of other links, but I don't personally like links that much. So this is a great card because it can discard during the battle phase, including your opponents. So this card says that basically when this card battles any monster, so if someone's battling it or it's battling somebody, this card can discard a card from the graveyard. It has to be a monster, and your opponent loses attack equal to the level of the monster sent to the graveyard times 200 until the end of the turn. So in this deck, you kind of want to get rid of a White Prince because that lets you get 3 Skull Servants into the graveyard. But at the same time, if this card's gonna die, you'd rather just send a big level monster, which I think the highest level in here is Mizuki, and Gozuki at 4 stars, and that's 800 attack that your opponent is losing, which this card has 1600 attack. So unless you use equip spells, which nobody does, don't let this card die, basically is what I'm trying to say. The next one I'm using is Vampire Sucker. I am running a vampire deck, but I had 3 of these, and it really wasn't necessary, so I brought one over to here, and it's actually pretty good. If you have a ton of monsters out on the field, link this first, then link another one, because every time you special summon, actually only once, when you special summon a zombie type monster, this card allows you to draw 1 card. So if you happen to have like 2 Skull Servants on the field and you don't really need them, you can link them into this, which gives you 2 Skull Servants into the graveyard. Then you can special summon Avenged Savior or any other zombie monster, and that allows you to get 1 more draw. I mean, how can you go wrong? So this is my zombie deck. My Skull Servants. I'm gonna go ahead and put this away, and I'm gonna show you one last deck. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna put it away actually because these claws are not gonna let me. Gold Sarcophagus, just like the one I was showing you earlier. Sorry, my dog is cleaning herself. I'm gonna try to get her to stop. Stop it. Whatever. So this is my Gold Sarcophagus. This is great in this deck. Anyways, I think it's great in this deck because you're going to be banishing a lot of cards in this deck face down. Face down means you can't bring it back. Not by choice. Not selectively, I should say. So this allows you to do it before you get rid of anything else. You take this. You take, perfect. You take Necroface. This card brings all banished cards if you normal summon it. If you normal summon this card, it brings back all the banished cards from your banished zone, actually even your opponents, into the deck. And then this card gains attack equal to the number of cards sent back, times 100. And it's already at 1200, so it's like a decent number that you'll wind up with. So Gold Sarcophagus is perfect with this card because, whatever, sometimes you end up banishing this card face down and then you can't choose it again. You can only run 2 of these, so if you happen to banish both, you won't, I'll explain it in a second. I'm running a pumpkin, a Pump Princess. I love this card because it's very on brand. Now, I say on brand because, like I said, this is a fairy tale deck. I just kind of made it thinking, oh, I'll just pick some fairy tales together. And I wound up making a whole Golden Castle deck. Golden Castle of Stromberg. Sorry, I should have said that. So, the Golden Castle of Stromberg is a field spell. The field spell banishes 10 cards from the top of your deck every standby phase. So, every time you draw, you banish the top 10 cards from your deck face down, meaning you can't touch them anymore. Every time you banish, I have some ways of healing from that, but anyways, if you can no longer banish 10 cards face down from the top of your deck, you have to destroy Golden Castle of Stromberg. When you destroy Golden Castle of Stromberg, you're left open, because Golden Castle of Stromberg also has another effect. Every time your opponent declares battle against you, the Golden Castle of Stromberg destroys that monster and then forces them to take damage equal to half their original attack, or half the attack they had on the field. Yeah, anyways, so I'll explain a little bit more, but this is Pump Princess because I like to think this is a fairy tale deck, not just Golden Castle of Stromberg. So Pump Princess is very on brand for being a fairy tale character. Jar of Avarice. Surprisingly, you don't have a lot of monsters in your graveyard, but this card, a lot of cards in your graveyard, but this card will at least let them come back. So just in case you lose your Golden Castle of Stromberg because your opponent had a card effect, or maybe, I don't know, if they got rid of your Golden Castle of Stromberg, or just basically any other cards, this will bring you 5 cards from your graveyard back to your deck. Oh, also, if you're like 4 turns into the duel and you're already almost decked out, this card can put some cards back into your deck so that you don't deck out. Pot of Desires. This is very necessary for this deck. Banish the top 10 cards from your deck and then draw 2 cards. The next one is Eater of Millions. This card also banishes face down. I think it's necessary for this deck because it special summons itself, which means you can have 2 monsters on the field at the same time. As I said earlier with my Skull Servants, everybody is special summoning these days, so normal summoning 1 monster isn't enough anymore. You need to special summon is what I'm trying to say. So this card allows you to special summon itself by banishing, actually it's 5 or more cards from your extra deck, hand or face up field, and that will allow you to special summon this card. If this card battles an opponent's monster, it immediately banishes them. face down, which gives him more attack because he gains attack for every monster that, or every card that is banished face down. Another Bump Princess, because why not? Okay, so here we have Glass Slippers and Princessin, and also Golden Pumpkin Carriage. Now these three are a trio because they are very cohesive with each other. They are very cooperative. If Golden Castle of Stromberg is in a field zone, you can special summon this card, or even if you normal summon this card, it will automatically special summon Pumpkin Carriage. And if Golden Castle of Stromberg is in a field zone, and you just normal summon this card, you can bring in Glass Slippers. So, bringing all three of these cards together, this card equips to Princessin. Princessin special summons Pumpkin Carriage. Pumpkin Carriage says nobody can touch the Golden Castle of Stromberg. An Owl of Luck. This card special summons. It brings one field spell from your to the top of your deck. If it's flipped, another Glass Slippers. Glyph is also a Golden Castle of Stromberg card. It says it in its text, Golden Castle of Stromberg. Sorry, it's not focusing, but anyways, it says Golden Castle of Stromberg in the text, which Golden Castle of Stromberg, the field spell, says you can special summon, once per turn, you can special summon one card from your deck that says Golden Castle of Stromberg in its text. So, Glyph does say Golden Castle of Stromberg in its text, but it also allows itself to discard itself in order to bring a Golden Castle of Stromberg from the deck to play face up. Here is a Pot of Duality because, I don't know, it's great to draw. Upstart Goblin. I don't know, it's good. Gives you more draw power because I'm running like 60 cards in this deck. Here it is, Golden Castle of Stromberg. I think it's a great card. It's like $30, so not easy to get. Golden Castle of Stromberg, here's the essay they have in text. It's very long, and I basically explained everything that it does. So I'm not going to explain it again. Definitely need this one. I am running a Grand Machu. Oh my god, I am running a Grand Machu. These are not working for me, are they? So I'm running a Grand Machu because you're going to have a lot of banished cards. So he's going to be forced to be reckoned with. Hex Trudy is another card that has Golden Castle of Stromberg written in its text. I am losing feeling in all of my fingers, so I'm gonna cry. Anyways, she is very necessary to this deck because she can be special summoned, and once per turn she can just destroy any monster on the field. Oh my god. You can just target one card on the field and destroy it, and and if you do, then this card can make this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters, and then if this card destroys a monster, I can target one face-up monster that I control and make it gain 400 attack. This card is stupid good. However, it does have a lot of stars, so basically the only way to bring it out is by special summoning it if you have Golden Castle of Stromberg in your field zone. Jar. Another Hex Druidie. Amazing card. Ooh, I love this card. Iron Cage is another card that works with Golden Castle of Stromberg. It's complicated and I'm too lazy to explain it, so just go look it up. MST. Another Eater. Here is your bread and butter. Soul Absorption. Every time a card is banished, you gain 500 attack. 500 life points. So every turn you have to banish the top 10 cards of your deck, which 10 times 5 is 5,000. 10 times 500 is 5,000, so you're gaining 5,000 life points every turn. Great card. Bum Princess, I forgot to tell you what she does. When she is destroyed by a battle while she is face up on the field, she goes into the spell or trap zone, and she is considered a continuous spell. While she's on the field, every standby phase she gets a token, and every token subtracts attack from your opponent times 100. But it also works on their standby phase, so every time they draw, every time you draw, every time they draw, and every time you draw, you subtract 100 life points from 100 attack from their monsters. Doesn't do much at first, so they might just MST this, or some kind of spell destruction, but if they don't, then this card will continuously subtract attack from every monster on their side of the field, which could potentially really help you. Another pumpkin carriage. Okay, I also have Demise of the Land. It's very necessary to have some cards to help you get out Golden Castle of Stromberg. It's a very expensive card, so when I first started this deck, I was only running one, and I almost just drew my own version. I made a ghetto copy because, my god, the cheapest I saw one was like $15, and I almost bought it for $15, and I was like, nah, that's too much, and now it's $30, so fuck me, I guess. Demise of the Land will help you get out your Golden Castle. Activate only when your opponent special summons a monster. What did I say earlier? Everybody special summoning. Select one field spell card from your deck and activate it. So that means even if it's on their turn, this is a quick spell. So that's a great card. Metaverse. It's a little slow, but trust me, anything to get out that Golden Castle, it's worth it. Another Glyph, another Princessin. I am so lucky. I have 3 Golden Castle of Strombergs. My brother got me 2 for Christmas. Pumpkin Carriage, Jar. Oh, here's a good one. Solomon's Law Book. This skips your standby phase. It's a little slow, but it's worth it because you don't want to banish every turn. So this skipping your standby phase means you. It says during your standby phase you must banish the top 10 cards from the top of your deck face down. And then if you can't keep the card. So if you can't banish, just use this and you skip your standby and keep your Golden Castle for another turn for free. Another Hex Judy, Glyph. Definitely at least run 2 of these because you're going to be banishing all the time. A Pot of Desires. I'm skipping a couple of cards, by the way, just because I don't care. Another Necrophase because you can only run 2. I'm going to skip the extra deck. I'll just flash them to you. They're all just Fairy Tale similar cards. And I'm only running them because of my Eater of Millions, pretty much. And also because they're just on theme. I don't know. This is my favorite one. Very on brand. I really only chose these because of the art. Don't judge me because they're bad. This one's great, but it's a 4. It's a Link 4, so I don't have that many monsters on my field at one time. And I don't use Link monsters that much, so I also I don't think I'm even running a tuner in this deck. Like I said, this is just for the art because, I don't know, whatever. So anyways, thank you for watching. That was just a couple of, I'm just talking about the cards really. It's just for ASMR. I'm not really making an official video for Conan so don't judge me. If you liked this video, or if you just want to roast me for how casually I talked about the cards, leave a comment and I will probably read them. Thanks for watching, and I'll be making more videos soon. I will be making more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, even if you hated this one, so stay tuned because I'll be showing you some of my playmats. I'll be showing you some of my cards. Here's an example. Here's a sneak peek of what the next videos will be about. That's what I thought. Stay tuned. Bye.